Hey everybody, and good Tuesday evening. Thanks for joining us on a fresh edition of Weather for Weather Geeks. Let's geek out to some weather and, some big news, of course, today in the changing of the seasons department. Autumn officially got underway in the Northern Hemisphere this morning at 9:31 a.m. That's the exact moment in which the sun's rays are directly over the equator and on their way south, of course, as we head into fall in the Northern Hemisphere, spring in the Southern Hemisphere, and then on December 21st, that'll be the start of winter in the north and summer in the Southern Hemisphere. The sun's direct rays at that point will be over the Tropic of Capricorn. Of course, at this time of the year, our days are getting shorter at a pretty rapid pace. We're losing about 2 minutes and 42 seconds of daylight per day now, and well, our sunset times, of course, are getting earlier. This evening's sunset at 7:19, coming up in just about 10 days. The sunset will be at 7 p.m. on the dot, and then less than a month later, 5:17, thanks to the return of Standard Time on the first day of November. Our earliest sunset in Youngstown occurs during a handful of days in early December, right around 4:53 p.m. All right, today was 1 degree warmer than average at 70 this afternoon, breaking a streak of 5 consecutive days of cooler than average temperatures. Now, interestingly enough, September is now a little bit below the average temperature-wise, thanks to the very chilly mornings and cool daytime highs that we've had of late. And this is in stark contrast to recent September. September is the one month of the year that has been warming the most over the last 30 years, not only here locally, but across the Midwest, the Great Lakes, a lot of the Ohio Valley. September is the month of the year that is seen the most warming over the last 30 years. And just over the last 5 years, we've had some very warm Septembers, dating back to 2015. But right now, we're at or just even a little bit below the average. Some warmer weather coming our way over the next handful of days will tilt those numbers a little bit, but I do think the month will end on a very chilly note. We'll talk about the longer range later on in the video. This is what's left of Beta. Yeah, we're into the Greek alphabet in the Atlantic Basin, and Beta is producing more heavy rains around Houston and heading over into the lower Mississippi Valley as well. And then out over the Atlantic, this looks more like a wintertime nor'easter, right? Well, this is Teddy, which thankfully is not going to make landfall in New England like some models were suggesting last week, but it is likely to make landfall or come very close to it in parts of Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, lots of wind and rain, and certainly some big time waves on the northern Atlantic Ocean. All right, that is not a player for us, and what's left of Beta will not be a player for us either. What is a player for us? High pressure, which brings us more sunshine over the next couple of days. Thursday can be a little bit cloudier, especially morning and midday, maybe a pretty thick veil of mid and high level clouds, maybe tries to thin some in the afternoon on Thursday. And then as we go into the day Friday, again, the tropical moisture is a mist to the south. That front off to the north really is of no concern to us. We are talking about more benign weather right into the first half of the weekend. If you are not a fan of the chill that we've had lately, you'll like the forecast at least through the weekend. 79 Friday and Saturday. Sunday brings our next chance for a couple of showers. Still on the warm side that day, but a cold front will roll through. Actually, a series of cold fronts will roll through during the first half of next week, knocking us back to about average on Monday and then likely pretty far below average by the middle and latter portions of next week. This is a big-time amplification of the jet stream across North America coming our way next week. Big ridge will pump up along the west coast. Bad news for the wildfire situation out there, but a big mondo trough digs in across the eastern U.S. as we roll into the final hours of September and flip the calendar into October. And that means, of course, it's going to cool down here, and we'll be well below the average, it looks like, starting around Tuesday to Wednesday of next week. And keep in mind, of course, our averages are falling quickly at this time of the year. By the end of this 10-day period, our average high is down to 66. And so a day that's 10 degrees below that average is a day in which temperatures may not get any higher than the 50s. I think we will have a few days late next week into next weekend with highs staying in the 50s. Nothing unusual, of course, for the beginning of October, but below the average, but not unheard of during this time of the year. That'll do it for me tonight. Thanks for watching this somewhat abbreviated edition of Weather for Weather Geeks. We'll have more interesting weather to talk about at some point, I promise, but not so much over the next few days. But hey, thanks for checking out tonight's video anyway, and I'll see you back here on Wednesday.